Today I'm going to show you some cool tips about when you're changing strings on the Floyd Rose guitar, and give you a couple of pro tips as well. So let's get to it. To make this simple for you, there's a couple of basic tools you need for this. First one is an Allen wrench. It's about 3mm. I think that's the size for this. You also need a string winder, Phillips screwdriver, and a cutter. There is also a special tool which I use to make string changing on a Floyd Rose a lot simpler for me. I use this plastic, I call them sugar cubes. These are where you put electric wires through and then you connect them by screwing them down, but these are connected, they're not broken off, and this is the correct height where the Floyd Rose is level with the body. As you may know, when you're changing strings on a Floyd Rose, it's very important that to make things go quickly is that you need the bridge to stay still. So you need to kind of lock it in place. It would be a lot easier if you had like a tremolo, but not everybody has that. So, and also make sure the table you're working on or the bench you're working on. I usually put like a sweater or sometimes even a towel to protect the guitar while I'm working on it. So that's a little tip. We cannot forget the most important part of this operation, and that is new strings. Today I'll be using these Roto Sound 11s. I usually have lower tunings with this guitar, so it's a good thing to have a bit thicker strings. But the thing is, if I choose to have it in standard, the tension is just not too hard for me. Actually, I'm quite used to 11, so it's a nice thing to have, and I really like the way the strings react in low tuning as well. So I'll mostly use either Ernie Ball or Roto Sound. So okay, so the first thing you do before you start chopping up strings, before you do anything, remember that sugar cube I talked about? Pull this up and put it underneath. Let's see. Maybe I can just remove this. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So this is nearly flat, but this will be straight pretty fast. So I can give you a little tip about using Floyd Rose in the studio. Sometimes the vibration from the springs on the back can come through in the sound and make a uncomfortable ringing in the sound you're trying to get a clean sound. So right now I have some black electric tape just to kind of control them. I didn't have any more foam, which I would originally use. I would put a thick piece of foam underneath to eliminate as much ringing as possible. And also another tip is that when you're in the studio, I recommend that you stop your Floyd from going down this way. It's okay that way because mostly they come back in tune. But when you're playing, let's say you're playing metal and you're kind of chugging and palm muting, just the weight of your hand might do your strings a bit sharp also. So I recommend having something to stop that. And also, unless you don't have any solos that require this thing, I suggest you remove it while you're recording. So you take this Allen wrench and you start with the nuts. So since we are removing the strings, you can go ahead and take these all the way off. If we were just tuning the guitar, we don't really have to take them off. Now we go ahead and use this. The reason why I'm not taking the strings off down at the bridge is because I want to take off the tension gently for the guitar neck. These strings have been on for quite a while, so I just want to ease them off, going from thinnest to thickest. So as you can see when I've taken the strings off, is that it drops down to this sugar cube, the plastic sugar cube I talked about, and you see it's pretty level to the body here, and as you see now it's working, it stops the bridge from going all the way down. So The next step is to use the Allen wrench again and then loosen the strings from here. That's removing them quite cleanly, so they're all in a bundle. Since it's been a while since the last time I changed strings on this guitar, fretboard is actually quite dirty, so I'm going to use some lemon oil to bring back some life in the fretboard and take away some grime. So the next step is to add on the strings basically. So yeah. So as you know, with Floyd Rose, we have to cut this ball end off, which was a scary thing to do first time I changed strings on a Floyd Rose, but don't worry. Okay, so the next step is to put the string through here. Okay, so you need to do this on all strings, so now comes the part which requires the most patience and is probably the most time consuming in changing strings on the Floyd Rose. That's actually the tuning. So we need to tune it a couple of times until it kind of sets, and then we can tighten the string nut on the top here. So if you use the sugar cube technique, if we can call it that, if you use that technique and say you have your Floyd Rose guitar in D and then you put the same strings, gauge of strings on, and then you put it to the same tension as it were, you don't have to go back here to adjust the tension. Looks like someone left a message. So that's a good thing. These are pretty much set. So okay, so what we do now is that we just use the fine tuners to get it perfect. All good to go and rock. Okay, so now we have restrung my guitar. Tune it to drop C sharp, and so let's have a little listen. Okay, so for me, it feels really good. The strings feel nice and new. It's just such a pleasure playing on new strings. It's set up pretty good. It keeps in tune and all that stuff. So I hope my tips have helped you. If you come across any problems, please ask me any questions in the comment section below. Anyways, cheers, thanks so much for watching this video. My name is Michael, I'll see you in the next one.